Hello, welcome back to Salty Sunshine when we shoot this salt. How you doing, Mama?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
I feel did we pod last week? Yeah, right? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while.
Right.
How's it going, Bri?
It's good. Just lots of cutting and sewing. I'm making a quilt. That's really all I've been doing with my time.
Fabulous. I can't wait to see the finished product. You better show it to us.
Yeah, it's gonna be like my first official sewing project.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. I've always wanted to sew and Brianna's gotten into sewing and I want to do it at some point when I have time.
It's funny because the actual sewing part is like the least amount of work. It's the prep work that takes forever.
The prep work.
The
What does that mean?
measurements, the cutting, the tracing, all of that.
I feel like, and also like the space you're in, like even when you're wrapping a
Mhm.
present, like you need a like all that moving around to get everything. Like that's what annoys me when I'm
I
wrapping.
know. I can't wait to have just like a set like
Yeah.
station for my sewing stuff.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Handmade gifts this year for Christmas. Continue.
I love that. You
Yeah.
know, I love a handmade gift. I didn't see you last week. That's why I feel like I haven't seen you in so long because last week was the week after the election, and I did.
Right. But we've talked.
No, but I haven't like seen you on Zoom
Right.
like this because I did reality recap last week with Natalie, which was so fun.
So
And
fun.
yes, and we missed you here. Since you don't watch reality TV, you're so above the rest of us, you know.
I just have things to do. I'm booked and busy.
You're above us. It's okay.
Booked and busy.
You know, we're here down in the gutter watching Bravo.
Well, it depends.
Um,
Bravo, no, but I'll get into some reality TV.
Other than sewing, quilting, is there anything juicy that's happened recently?
Juicy? Mm, no.
Is it cold over there? Because it's hot
No.
AF over here. It is a tiny bit cooler, Miami. Like when I say it cooler, what I mean is there's more overcast and more wind, and therefore it's like cooler, but the air's not cool. That makes sense.
It's always like that in Miami. It never
No,
feels like the holidays coming.
no, it never feels cold, but it does feel cool. Like, especially October for Halloween is always cooler, drastically cooler than usual. And that's why it's usually comfortable to wear like a costume because you're not dying because it's usually cooler. And this year it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's not cold here either.
No?
No. I mean,
Wow.
it's like 70s to 80s.
That's interesting, right? Because we're the mid-November.
It's usually like pretty gloomy here in November, but it's not.
I wonder what's going on.
I don't know.
So, okay, what'd you watch?
I actually just finished the Martha Stewart documentary,
What got you
and
into watching that?
I heard it on the Giggly Squad. They were watching it.
Oh,
And so I gave it a go while I was sewing.
yeah.
And
Oh, she's perfect. She's a perfect inspiration for you. All the home,
exactly,
what do you call it? Home economics. You know, in high school, there was a class. Did you have it in high school, home
I took
economics?
it.
I thought they did away with that.
No, I took it.
Well, when I took it, it was one of my favorite classes because we
Yeah, we
actually
cooked a
cooked.
little. We like
We
did
did
stuff
woodwork.
around.
Oh no, was
Yeah,
that it?
woodwork.
Yeah, we did woodwork. We did cooking. We did like it was so fun. I loved it, and I love my teacher.
Yeah, and I mean, it's weird that they would do away with it when like that's what you need in life. But
No,
whatever.
you don't need that
We'll
in
study
life.
algebra and calculus. But yes, great inspiration. She literally hand makes everything from scratch. And now I want to get into gardening when I have a house. And
Oh my God.
maybe I'll get into some cooking. I kind of want to watch her old videos and like maybe cook with her.
Well, I think she had a TV show of cooking, right?
She's had a couple of things. She has like magazines, then a TV show, and then another TV show with Snoop Dogg.
Well, but that's not, that's more like a competition or something, right?
Well, I think it was like a dinner party,
Oh,
but
well,
they're
yeah.
cooking for people.
Yeah. Yeah. She has shows and she probably has a website.
Probably. I mean, Martha Stewart was before my time, so like I always heard about her growing up, but I never really like
Yes.
understood how big she was. Like she's the first female billionaire, self-made billionaire.
Um, self-made, and I find it difficult. There's a
She's
fine.
100% self-made.
No, I mean, when you say self-made, her talent and what she crafted, she self-made that. But did she have help from the people she married? Yeah. It was because of the guy she married that she had access and time and money to do all that.
Okay, now you sound
It's true.
really.
The first guy she married, that's how she got in. That's how she found the love for what she was doing. All the parties she did were so elaborate, and the house guests and all that.
Yeah, because she was hosting people. It's not because of her husband. She's
It
even
is
like any other housewife who ordered catering.
no, but not his contacts. He was a big deal. He was like a big businessman, and because of that, they had these huge parties, and that's how she got into all this.
You
So
know,
her
she was a broker before, right? She worked on Wall Street by herself. That's how she met her husband. Like
not the
she,
first husband.
yes.
I don't think that's correct.
I just watched her
No,
documentary.
she did the broker thing
Okay,
between the
you
first and
haven't even,
second.
did you watch the documentary?
And you know what?
You don't even watch it. You have no
No,
idea. You're just
I
like, you're
watched.
like,
Wait a second. I watched it, but I will admit I was pretty bored. So I was in and out. It took me like 5 tries to finish the first episode.
I know, but you always do this when you're in and out of shows. You're like, no, this happened. I'm like, you
No,
didn't
I
even
know.
watch it.
That's why I'm admitting that you're probably right because I did get bored.
Yeah,
And
she
it
is
was
self-made.
pretty.
I'm telling you, she was like a, what was she before? I can't remember. She did some other career, and then she went to become a Wall Street person.
But I feel like she did that after she got the first divorce, no?
She was married when she was on Wall Street.
That's what I'm saying. I think she got married first, got into all that because she started her stuff cooking and the spreads and all that before Wall Street. So I feel like she
Well,
already had
that's
that.
like from her home. Like her mom did it. She like grew up in that kind of household.
No, I know, but she had the opportunity to like really dive in when they had these huge parties because of her first husband and his life and what his job was and all that.
I guess.
Anyways, I don't remember all the
There are
details.
plenty of women who are stay-at-home moms who do nothing, like to make a business. Like
No, I'm
she is
saying the
completely,
talent, obviously she fostered, it was all her. All the ideas and the talent and the work. I'm just
you're
saying she
just
had
like
like,
really dimming down her light for no
no, I'm
reason.
just acknowledging that she had the resources, the money, and the time to really dive in and like show people her talent and like really make it big.
Right? She started a catering business. That's where it all started.
Yeah, it's so she has like a super dry like way of being, and every time she's
Mhm.
been on like interviews, even she was on Chelsea lately, the podcast I listened to, Dear Chelsea, and it was uncomfortable a little bit to listen to because she's very, it's almost like, you know, when you talk to someone, you say something and you don't know if they got what you meant, and
Yeah.
you can't really ask because it's like they're a different generation, and it's almost like you have to like it's weird.
Yeah, you can't really read them, and you can't tell if they're laughing or if they get it or if like
Yeah.
they're
It was
into the
so
conversation.
yeah. She definitely has a different type of way of being. I can see how people are uncomfortable around her because it's like you don't know how she's feeling exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And even she's been on Watch What Happens Live and she's been on
Hmm.
different like interviews and it's always like that uncomfortableness. It's never like chill.
I know, but she's funny. I like her.
She's definitely
And
funny, but
it's
I'd be
funny how
nervous.
like people called her a bitch, and even in the documentary, they were
But I
like,
think that's why, because of that disconnect. It's not that she's being a bitch, it's that you can't read her. So
but
then
I'm
you're,
talking about people in her company,
yeah,
like saying like she was a terrible boss. She was like such a
yeah.
bitch, and it's like
She had no tolerance.
if a guy did that, it would just be he's
Oh,
tough.
totally.
He's yeah. You can't. A
Yeah.
woman can't do it, which I
Oh,
totally
no.
agree with.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's happened to me. I'm
Hmm.
like, the only reason you're mad is because I'm not a man. Like,
Right. If a woman
yeah.
is assertive, she's a bitch.
Yeah. It's like we have to be
Hmm.
bubbly and giggling the whole time. Like, how am I
Right.
supposed to be a leader here? You know?
Exactly.
No,
I don't
it's
know. She
true.
went through so much, especially because in her time, the way women were looked at.
Crazy.
She's
The
a
worst, the worst thing I saw, well, one of the worst things, when she was married, I think it was her first marriage, and then she let one of the people that work for her live for free in the little outhouse, and that stupid biatch had an affair under her nose with her husband, and then
Hmm.
that to me, it's like women like that. I have no tolerance. Like, you
Yep.
don't do, one thing is to have an affair with a guy that you don't know who the wife is and he lied to you and you didn't know he was married and it's a sticky situation at that point. And another thing is to like backstab someone you know and that's like giving you something.
Yep.
That
It's
to
the,
me is like the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. I hate
yep,
it.
bottom of the
Disgust.
bottom.
Bottom barrel disgusting.
Yeah,
Yes.
no shame.
Ugh,
It
I
was
hate
funny though when she would talk about her affairs. Like
about her
she was
brand.
super portrayed, obviously, but then the interviewer was like, "Didn't you have a couple affairs?" She was like, "Well, it was a little different. He didn't know about it."
They're like, yeah, he knew, lady. She's like, oh. That's what I mean, though. She's like a disconnect. So
Mhm.
I feel like you can't have real conversations with her because, like that, what you just said, the fact that
Mhm.
she thought that the guy, and she probably does know, but then she says she doesn't. So it's like she never's like kind of making sense. So it's like a
Yeah,
disconnect.
yeah. And the fact that she thinks like he's so terrible for having an affair, but like she doesn't, it's like, well, that was different. And she,
And then,
okay, I'm sorry, but she had an affair on her honeymoon in the cathedral or wherever she was, the museum. Crazy.
no, and then she's like, ladies, if a man's cheating on you, you look at him like he's a piece of shit and you leave. But then they show all the letters she was begging her husband to stay with her. Like, again, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's why
Hmm.
people think she's a biatch because it's probably really hard to like clarify things with her.
Yeah, she's probably like, yeah, she doesn't really make sense.
That exactly. Thank you. That was my point. That's
Yeah,
my. But
she's a funny woman though. Also, I thought she went to jail longer. I mean, 5 months is a lot, but like I thought it was a lot
yeah, I know.
worse.
I it felt like longer.
Yeah, like I remember, like in the time when I heard about it, I thought it was a lot longer.
And apparently she didn't do anything illegal other than lie. I was confused. It was
I
the
think
lie.
that was like a time where like women again weren't didn't have the best rights or like equal rights. So I don't know actually.
Yeah, I'm not a great. I really I thought it was pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I thought it was interesting just because I don't know about her, so I was like learning about it for the first time.
I think
But
her story is interesting. I just the documentary itself was kind of boring. And she came out, I don't know if you saw, she came out saying she didn't like a lot of it. Like she didn't give her thumbs up. She's like, so she gave like whoever directed it or produced it all this information, like all the letters and like videotapes and backstories and everything. She gave him access. And she says he pulled things like she didn't like how he put it together. And then it made her look like a lonely old woman.
oh,
She's like, I don't appreciate this, and so
it
she's not a fan.
it did make her look like a lonely old woman. It really did. Like it was just played into the thing of like if you focus on your career, like you're gonna end up alone and lonely.
She was
That's
married
what the
twice.
documentary sounded like. Huh?
Was she married twice?
Yeah, divorced twice. Well, no, she was married once and then a long-term relationship. It was like 15 years or something. I don't think she was married. Was she?
I don't
No.
know. Again,
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
remember it.
I mean, he
It was
left
a
her out of nowhere. He was
yeah.
just like, I'm gonna marry this other woman. She's like, what?
Because he probably told her. They probably had a whole conversation. She's probably like, "You never told me anything. Like, what are you talking about?"
Right. Honestly, that could be it.
Honestly, she's just like kind of in her own world.
Like selective hearing.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. I love how she made a comeback and the roast was really funny. And I
Yeah.
love her relationship with Snoop Dogg. I think they're adorable.
Interesting.
I know, but
Oh,
I
and
love
then
it.
she was on Watch What Happens Live with Snoop Dogg and someone else. She was like behind the bar, like a bartender, and they were talking about I forgot who the person was, but they're like, "You're no longer friends with her." And the lady said it. I guess somewhere she said that her and Martha weren't friends because of an X reason. And then Martha's like, "That's not true. We're not friends because I went to jail, so she didn't want to be friends with me anymore." And then Snoop Dogg goes, "That's where I came in. Like, I'll be your
Oh,
friend." Like, okay, that's a weird friendship.
I know, but how cute. It's so unexpected. And they work so well together.
Yeah, well, he's high all the time, and then she's like contradicting herself. So I'm sure they don't. It just passes by like two
Right.
trips in the night.
That's funny.
He's not like, wait, that didn't make sense. He's probably like, yeah, whatever, great, that sounds fine.
Wait, so I still don't understand, like, did she do anything illegal? I know we just talked about it, but
She sold she sold or bought a stock right before big news came out. So again, I didn't really pay attention, but I was always under the impression that it was insider trading, which that's what that is when you
but
have
that's
inside
yeah.
knowledge.
But she didn't get in trouble for that.
Apparently, it was because she just lied about something.
Hmm. Isn't it crazy that she could have been a billionaire by now?
Isn't
Like,
she?
that one, is she?
Of course. I would think so.
Billion?
Oh, billion. I don't know. I don't know. But
Like,
she sold in Kmart all her stuff,
mm-hmm.
which Kmart has what do you know that interesting fact? Kmart has one store left in all of the US. They used to have like a million. And guess where it is?
Is it the one in Miami?
The one in Kendall.
Is it really?
Hmm?
Wait, crazy.
That is crazy.
I've been there before.
Many times. On Kendall, 88th Street, and like off of 137th Avenue, there's a Kmart that has been there
Wow.
forever, and it's solely keeping the Kmart name alive.
That's crazy. They must be doing really well to keep that one open.
I know.
I mean, I do always see people there. I mean, I haven't gone there in a while, but when
Always
I,
packed.
yeah,
There's a Marshall's right next to it. It's always packed.
that probably helps.
I know, it's so crazy. So yeah, so she had all her, I don't know if she still has. I don't know her
Probably
deal.
not. No.
Probably not. Or maybe in another store. But other than that, did you watch anything else?
No.
So White Lotus is coming back.
Ooh, I saw that.
And sometime in 2025, they're going to be in Thailand. That show kind of scares me. I'm like,
I
do I
love
really
that
want to
show.
watch? Like, am I going to be uncomfortable?
Right, but I love it. It's a little weird.
But of course, I will watch.
Euphoria is
And
also coming out.
which one?
Euphoria 3.
I don't like. I've never watched that show. I will never watch that show. I don't. If I want to be depressed in a dark room and think of awful things,
I think they said that the kids now they're gonna fast forward and they're gonna be in college, which is where they should have started because no one acts like that in high school. And just like all the sexual scenes, like they're supposed to be high schoolers. Like it's
no
was
one acts
weird.
like that in college either.
No, but I mean, yes, they do. But in high school, like it's just like weird. Like you're supposed to be watching someone in high school having sex. Like I don't know, it's weird.
It's too dark. It's too exact. It's too much. It's too much of all of it. It's like a lot.
Mhm.
But Game of Thrones, they're making a movie out of it.
What?
They're making a movie, Game of Thrones. That's probably going to be good.
Like a continuation?
It's been developing the fantasy universe, HBO. I wonder if it's going to be like the same storyline or a new one.
Right, because they came out with like this prequel, and that was like new characters. So I wonder if this is gonna be new characters.
I'm reading the article to see if it says.
I'm actually halfway through Game of Thrones right now.
No way! You never finished it?
Yeah.
What? I thought you finished it. Damn.
Mm-mm.
You know what? I never kept watching the other one, the prequel.
Season 2 dragged on.
Yeah, I couldn't finish. Just like I dropped Emily in Paris, I dropped.
Oh, I didn't finish that one either. So annoying.
It was too boring. I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. All right. Well, I don't know. The movie's coming out. Oh, I don't know if I think I mentioned it to you. Law and Order, SVU, new season's out. I stopped watching that. I dropped it because it was so woke. It was such a bad show. Like I love that show. You know, you love something so much, and like you want to, you have to try. You have to give it a try because it's like one of your favorite shows ever. It
Yeah.
was so bad I couldn't watch it. This brand new season, it's not we're back, no, but it's not we're woke. It's better than the trash they were putting out the last 2 or 3 seasons. It's watchable. It's not what it used to be
Yeah.
by any means, but it's watchable. Like I've been watching this season and I'm not horrified or bored, so it's okay. So,
You know, but it just used to be such a good show, and they always make it so obvious when they're trying to be woke.
I know. It's so obvious, like a mile away. So, that's some good news for us, Law and Order SVU.
You
Sean
still didn't
Diddy.
keep watching it though.
What?
I said you still didn't keep watching it though.
No, I'm watching this season.
Oh,
The
oh, you
brand new
said you
season's out.
tried. I know, but I thought you said you tried, and then
No, I tried the last ones when I was in denial of how woke they were. I'm like, okay, maybe the next episode will be better. Maybe the next one will be better. It never got better. It was so
yeah,
bad. So I just stopped. But I saw the new season was on. I'm like, oh, let me look at it. It was okay. So I went to the second because there's like 3 or 4 episodes out. I'm like, I tried the first one. I was like, all right, that wasn't bad. I tried the second one. So I just kept watching. So I'm happy they've come to their senses. Their ratings must have dropped.
oh yeah, if they made a
Yeah.
change for sure. No one wants to watch that.
Oh, Diddy. So his son came out. He took over his dad's Instagram, one of his sons, and he's like, I'm gonna get on here and put all this positive stuff of all the positivity my dad brought to the world and blah blah blah. And so like he's on his Instagram trying to revive and keep his dad's positive memory alive.
That's crazy.
That's ballsy, is what it is.
Also, like, are the kids not gonna get in trouble for anything? I'm sure they were involved at one point now that they're grown ups.
You know what? I don't know if they don't show us information. As far as I'm concerned, nothing has happened because they always
Okay.
do that. All this bad stuff. Even when you look on TikTok, they're like breaking so and so, a celebrity of this age, blah blah blah. Was caught. Where's the what are you talking? Where? How do we know this
I
is
know it
true?
is ongoing though, so I'm sure like things will come up.
But they're
2025.
like they released or someone has a photo. It's like where is it?
There's also like no trial yet, so I'm sure like they're waiting for that.
Again, listen, I heard someone the other day, I forgot who it was, a celebrity. They were on a podcast or an interview, and they're like, look, I went to Diddy parties all the time. And this is what I used to say when we first started talking about this. Just because you've gone to a Diddy party, I could have gone to a Diddy party. Anyone can go to a Diddy party. That's not where the stuff is going down. If they're having these type of parties, they're very select group in a private place, having nothing to do with these big parties that the public goes to. Like it's
Or there's probably like an after party, or they take you to a different room, or like it's like late
yeah.
hours or something.
I don't even think it's part of those same parties. It's probably like a whole different party in another time in another place.
Yeah.
Like it's a they're not they're not stupid. They're not going to just like be outward with this. It's going to be like a select people.
We have to know like people are okay with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If this ends up like the other stuff like there's no proof and I can't. I will literally like that would piss me off.
Well, if they arrested him, they have something, and they're keeping him arrested, so he's not out on bail, I don't think.
I don't know. We'll see. Oh my god. Channing Tatum, you know he was married to Jenna Dewan.
Mm-hmm.
They just like either their divorce was finalized or it was like the final thing got agreed to because it dragged on for like 6 years. They were
Crazy.
never because she wanted Magic Mike money and he didn't want to give it to her. Long story short, they finalized their divorce recently, but he was engaged to Zoe Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz's
Mm-hmm.
daughter, and they were engaged. They called off their engagement recently, and there's rumors that he was cheating on her. No, I don't know if that's true or not. But Jenna Dewan's boyfriend that she has a kid with, he posted a story, just a black background, and ha 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 ha, like f you, Channing, like ha ha ha, you're
That
getting
is
you're
so weird.
yeah. Everyone was like, oh my god, and I'm like, well, I have a feeling it probably had to do with the divorce and like how he didn't want to give up stuff, and he's probably like, ha ha ha.
I know, but to post that, like, it like looks sad on your part, on your wife's part. Like, I don't know, that's weird.
I wonder if she like ripped him a new a-hole.
Yeah, I know, imagine. And now,
Yeah,
yeah, no.
because she does have a kid with him, so you have to respect that.
Yeah. I saw that they broke up, and I went through like his Instagram, and one of the most recent posts of them was like her laying on him, and it was like a paragraph long. And they always say like the people who like write the most about the relationships on social media have the most problems.
But didn't they like just get engaged not long ago?
I don't know.
I feel like they've been dating for a long time, but they like just got engaged. I may be wrong, but I feel like they got engaged recently. And I think that happens a lot too when you're with someone a long time and then you get engaged later, like it all falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
Or like if you're with someone a long time and you get married, like it falls apart the minute you
Like
get
right
married.
away. Yeah.
I wonder why
Which
that
is
happened.
weird.
Yeah,
It is
I don't,
very weird.
it is weird.
Uh, that does happen a lot though.
Yeah, I like Channing. I mean, is he like a serial cheater? What is his deal? Like,
Did he
I don't
cheat
know.
on her, Jenna?
I don't know.
Oh, then why are you
Why
saying
did they get
that?
divorced?
Who knows? A lot of reasons people get
They were the
divorced.
perfect couple. I can't accept that. I mean, they look so good together. They met on the best movie that's ever been made. Like, they're both amazing dancers. I mean, that's not okay with me.
People just grow apart.
Mm-mm.
But
No,
that's embarrassing for Jenna that her
yeah.
husband posted that.
Do we want to talk about Peanut the squirrel, or is that too sad?
It's too sad. I mean, what else is there to say?
Justice for Peanut. Let's just say justice for Peanut the squirrel and his
It's just
brother, Fred the raccoon. That everyone forgets about Fred. Yeah, because Peanut was more famous and Peanut was with them for like 7+ years. I think Fred was with him a lot less because he was like a baby and they were murdered for no reason because squirrels don't rarely carry rabies and the way they handled them, they shouldn't have been in danger of it anyways. And it's a disgusting situation. But you know what's juicy about that story? It's not juicy, but like maybe a lot of people don't know. The person that called it in, she's denying it, by the way. The Karen lady, she's denying that she called and reported it.
Hiding death threats.
Yeah. So she denied it. And then they're saying that whoever reported it was pissed because they said that how can this squirrel have so many followers and make these people so much money? And these people are disgusting because they have an OnlyFans. So the couple that own them, they have an OnlyFans.
What does that have to do with killing the squirrel?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just more information that we didn't like. I don't know what's really behind all this, but like the OnlyFans came into play.
So you're saying that that poor little squirrel raccoon died because someone was jealous
Or
of
someone
them
was
making so much money?
and disgusted of their lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Disgusting. Yeah. And it's like OnlyFans is a perfectly legal thing. It's not like it's illegal. It's not like they're selling drugs and using the squirrel. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It was just a weird tidbit that came out. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, it's so gross. That poor baby.
Oh,
And
justice
those
for.
heartless people who raided the place.
You know, sometimes I wake up and I feel like, you know, when you lose a pet and like you wake up, you're like, oh, I don't have my pet. Like, it's so sad. Like, I feel like their pain sometimes when I wake up. I'm like, they must like be around their house, like so sad that their little baby's not there anymore.
Yeah, it was so sudden in such a scary way. So sad.
How can
Next
they
topic. We don't need
I
to be
know, but
sad.
the people that work in that department, like, how can they not feel like the biggest garbage people?
That's what
Come
I'm
on.
saying. The people who took them away.
Like, they could have been like, no, you know, like
Yeah.
quarantine them and like, it's terrible. We'll never forget them. Um, Kristen Cavallari says that she's dating to marry. Like, she's not eating shit anymore.
Okay.
And her ideal partner is like a 44 plus or minus man, business beau that has a vasectomy.
So the complete opposite of her last boyfriend.
Exactly.
The last boyfriend who wanted a kid and was 22 or 20 whatever.
She after around and found out. It's not just fun and games, people. Like,
Yep.
she's like, I'm not doing that again. She's like, I want no kids. I want a guy that's hot, my age, successful.
Glad she came to her senses.
That's kind of oh, and she said, when I get with someone else, I'm never like publicly like showing anything. Like, I guess she really regretted that podcast that we did.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean, she was
embarrassing.
very public with him.
She wasn't very public, but that podcast was so unnecessary. And what they talked about was like,
And
ew,
public. Yeah. Private
TMI.
stuff that was public.
Oh my gosh. But it's kind of for, I mean, I'm sure he's fine with it, but because I think they're friendly. Like they ran into each other at a bar and they were caught talking. But it's kind of rude to, I mean, again, did she have to tell the world that she wants a 44-year-old with a vasectomy? Like that wasn't necessary. We don't need to know this.
Right. But again, she is very public.
It's insulting to that guy. He'd be like,
Yeah,
God,
she's like, I want the complete opposite of my last guy.
I want everything that you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. God, this is like a lot of breakups. So let's talk about another breakup.
Chicken fry.
Brianna Chicken Fry. You kind of look like her, and your name is the same. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, what does chicken fry come from?
I don't know.
Like, why
I
does she call
don't.
herself that?
I don't know, but everyone's like hating on Zach Bryan. I don't think it's gonna change his career. What do you think?
Um, I mean, he has a lot of women fans, so it kind of might.
I doubt it. The only reason I say that is because. So let's talk about the fact that they broke up. He broke up with her. And the next day he was on Raya and she literally told him, I want to digest this. Let's not make it public. Like, let me relax. And he goes on Raya, makes it public and makes a statement. And she's like freaked out because she's already like has PTSD from all that stuff that they went through, the emotional verbal trauma. With that said, he's a classic narcissist. People throw that word around. And most people that are calling others narcissists, those people are not narcissists. Just if you're conceited, you're not a narcissist. If you're a cheater, that's not a narcissist. A liar, that's not a narcissist.
Yeah.
If he doesn't like you and he ghosts you, that's not a narcissist. A real textbook narcissist, everything she said, I dated Zach Bryan. FYI. Like I dated Zach Bryan. I have been through that and longer period than her. It's a slow burn. They're very charming people, but they just mess with you. Maybe they didn't even know that they're hurting you, but they are. And they mess with your brain and they cause problems where there are no problems. That's what they do. A real narcissist is so difficult to like be around in a relationship with. So that's exactly what she was talking about. With that said, is it illegal to be a narcissist? No. Is it like, in other words, I don't know. He didn't do anything illegal. He didn't hit her. He
No, but
emotionally.
that doesn't matter. Like, when he's a brand, so like right now his brand is tarnished. Like, he is his brand. So
Wait,
that's
yeah,
why, like, it could affect
his
him.
image is definitely
Yeah.
tarnished.
And I think, like, some sponsorships have probably, like, dropped him.
Maybe, but I do think he'll bounce back. I don't think it'll go past a certain level.
Yeah, it depends on your certain level of fame. I don't know. He is kind of one of the more famous ones in country, right?
Yeah, his songs are awesome.
Yeah, so like he
Yeah.
probably won't, like, this is gonna like pass by and he's gonna go back to making songs and doing tours.
Yeah.
And there is gonna be a woman who thinks she's lying and then goes to him and thinks that she could change him and he'll probably date again. So I think he'll be fine, honestly.
I think
It's
he'll
just
be
like Ariana Grande, like she got torn down because she's a
exactly.
homewrecker, but like she's fine. Like, you reach a certain level of fame where like you're gonna be fine.
Not only that, people are very like, the next thing drops and you forget about that and enough
Mhm.
time passes and everybody's redeemable. But I think if he would have been like a little more abusive in another way, like maybe it
Mhm.
holds worse. But like not that this isn't abusive, it's not a lot of people date jerks. I mean, they just do. And
Right.
she's very young. She's 25. So it's good that she learned this now to look for the red flags and not like stay long in another type of situation like that, because this is the type of thing that you look back, you're like, whoa, that was so weird. Like you're in it. And especially on tour, she's on tour. It's not like she's at her home. She was on a tour bus alone, like trapped. But it takes a bit because the things that they do are so ridiculous that it makes you start to like second guess your common sense and
Right.
your sanity. You're like, wait, is it really as bad as I think it is? Because it's like that. It's
Mhm.
like not as bad to call the cops, but it's like it's bad enough that you feel like you're not
Mhm.
yourself and you turn miserable.
Right. Verbal abuse is definitely a lot trickier because there's no like you said, like physical abuse. It's wrong. You
It's
call the cops. You can actually get in trouble for it. But like
yeah,
verbal abuse is like a weird line.
and it's not even verbal abuse; it's emotional abuse because he
Yeah.
wasn't like just calling her names all day. He was playing with her emotions, like avoiding her, ignoring her. I'm mad. I'm not mad. You
Yeah.
look like a whore in
Powerful.
that dress. Oh, look how gorgeous she looked. Like it was always like a messing with your emotions, and I know exactly how that feels. It's like you don't know if you're coming or going. It's like you never know when it's going to be a big problem or not, and you're
Yeah. You
always
don't know who
walking.
you're gonna get.
Yeah, you're walking on eggshells, and that's awful. So I want to applaud her for not taking a massive amount of money that anybody else would have taken.
Yeah.
On one hand, she could save the world's dogs with all that money, so that's unfortunate. And she doesn't come from money. She has a great career, so she'll be fine. But she said that she was ready to take the money. She was sign the dotted line, give me the money, I'm out. She was ready to do that. She said that on the pod. What she said was he kept messing around and it was taking so long that because of that, she's like, forget it. I'm out. Like this, I don't want to feel like this. When you take that kind of money, I know that kind of money's crazy and you could do so much with it, but at the same time, if you're like I don't know, maybe certain type of person will be fine. But if you're the type of person that like dignity matters and like you're real with yourself, that will stay with you.
Yeah. She'll
Like,
still feel trapped.
yeah. And you'll feel like a loser. You're like, I let this asshole buy me.
Hmm.
And
I
it,
let him control me again, even after we broken up.
yeah. And he knows that like his money is worth more than my dignity.
Hmm.
And like, even if no one else knows and you just look like you're bawling, like, it's like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I think that's a really good message. And I always say, like, you always, when people are like, well, I didn't have a choice, who's going to turn that kind of money down? Like, you always have a choice. And even though, like, it's a lot of money, like, you'll be better in other ways. And sometimes your emotional well being is like, sometimes you can't fix that. If you go down for far enough, like, that there's no, like, once you like get weird
Hmm.
and depressed and stuff, like, you can't fix that. Money can't fix that. So,
That's true. And honestly, her talking about it is probably helping a lot. And seeing like other people praise her and say they're in the same situation and she's not done. Like she would have probably been so depressed if she took the money and she wasn't able to tell her story. And like people were speculating why they broke up and she would never be able to say it. Like why?
and it's such a good example to people. It's just such a good example to women. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to take the money. You don't have to keep doing what you're doing just because it's harder to do it the other way. Like I
Yeah.
think it's a great example. What I
Also,
think,
oh, what
yeah.
were you gonna say?
No, go ahead. I was
I
going
was
to
just
talk
gonna
about
say
Dave.
also, the past couple of years I've been like loving Dave Portnoy more and more, and this is like one of those things that make me love him more. Like he's like, I have money too. You're not the only person with money. And he was like helping her with lawyer stuff, and he wanted to sue her for talking. And he was like, I have money too. I have a lawyer too. And he
Okay,
just like has her back.
I was about to bring up Dave, and you brought up Dave. So, do I think Dave is a great friend and a great person and loyal? Yes. Do I think his diss tracks on Zach are ridiculous? Yes.
Well, I haven't seen that. What do you? He's making
He made
music.
Brianna. He made an entire diss track. Him and Josh is the other guy named Josh, the other guy in the BFF.
Yeah.
They made a diss track, or his team, or someone made a diss track, like, okay, against Zach Bryan. And Zach Bryan, because he's part of what, Warner Music or whatever, they took it down because like there's a violation of like something. The diss track is like about him having STDs. The diss track is all this stuff, but I'm like, they're admitting that he has STDs. So does that mean Brianna Chicken Fry has STDs?
Right.
I'm like, aren't you saying she has them too now? Not great.
Wait, I wonder if you can still find them.
No, you can because they took it off all. Like you could find them like maybe on a Twitter video or like you could find them where people saved them and keep reposting it, but they've taken it down everywhere. So he made a second diss track. Like he's like, I'm not gonna quit. He keeps making them. And it's like he took off his shirt and put a chain on and like was talking about the like singing the diss track, and everyone's like, my favorite feature of Dave Portnoy is the, what do you call that when you stitch, the stitch feature? He's like, I'm so glad you found the stitch feature. But I'm like, okay, it's funny, but he is a little too old to be messing around with this stuff.
Right.
It is funny.
Well, they were about to end the BFF podcast because he said he's too old to be getting into drama and all of this stuff. But he has to ride it out for his girl one last time.
It
This is
is,
like
it
the
is
last drama we get into.
seriously. And do you know what else he said on the pod? Which is really going to burn your bubble. Zach Bryan had a concert. And even though Dave doesn't really, he's never really liked him, but he wanted to support Bri, and he was in, I don't know, I guess he was in town. He went to the concert with Josh and he asked her, can I bring Miss Peaches? Because she hadn't met Miss Peaches yet. He said, can I bring Miss Peaches? She asked Zach, he said yes. He takes Miss Peaches, he puts her in the dressing room, and he caught Zach. He kicked Miss Peaches out of the dressing room and put her in like an equipment room that was dangerous for her in another room. And that pissed Dave off. He's like, I was livid. Like, I was so mad. Like, she could have gotten into trouble in there and kicked her out of the
say
dressing
he can't come.
How dare he? How dare he?
So that means he's an animal hater, not an animal lover.
Animals.
Does
But
he?
yeah, you're an animal hater if you hurt Miss Peaches.
Exactly. So he doesn't love animals.
He loves his animals. He probably just doesn't.
Well,
he just
he's
probably
a
just doesn't care about anyone else.
He's a narcissist.
Yes.
He loves his own.
Right. And she said on her Instagram that she's wakes up really sad all the time because she misses his dog and his cat.
That's always the worst in a breakup.
Unacceptable. That is unacceptable. That is sad.
It is sad.
I know. The animals. I mean, no one wants to let go of the animals.
No, I know a couple couples that broke up and they literally treat it like a child and they switch him off every 2 weeks. Very funny.
So Bri Chicken Fry got her name because she did a Vine. Vines are old.
So that's where she's from? Wow.
She said it came from a Vine she made about Burger King's chicken fries. So it went viral.
I used to love those.
And that's why they call her Bri Chicken Fry.
Wow, so she's been like this for like 10 years?
And I think that's how she like got on the pod with these people.
Probably. There were a couple people who got famous from Vine. I didn't know she was one of them.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Apparently he was married before, that guy, Zach Bryan. And it's so funny because I know his songs, but I never realized what he looked like. Like, I didn't make the connection. I didn't know that was him singing those songs. But he was married before, and I think the girl was in the army or something, and she was deployed, and he sent her divorce papers while she was like deployed. Like, he's
of course, because he used to be too in the Navy or something.
Okay. And
but
people are
then
making fun of his looks, which is
right. They're saying you're not cute enough to act like this.
I feel like that's kind of like reverse racism type of thing. It's like, you don't want people to say this, but then now it's okay for you. Like, I don't know. I always have
it's once you hate them, you can call them ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary. It doesn't matter how cute or ugly.
It's just a low blow. Like, there's so much more to hate about him. So.
Yeah. Exactly. What happened? Did you hear the story about her birthday?
Probably.
You didn't hear the podcast or clips?
I don't know. No.
I didn't hear the podcast either. I just like saw some clips. But she had a birthday that typical narcissist behavior. He rents a house for her on the water so she could bring her friends and family. Mm-hmm. And then he complains the whole time about how he has to go and it's like such trouble for him. And she's like, don't come. Like, just don't come. Like, your energy is like, I don't want to hear type of thing. She didn't tell him that, but like but he's complaining so much, but he goes anyways. So then he makes the energy weird. And so she didn't want to make it worse towards the end of the night. So she's like, oh, I'm going to go to bed because he did something. He said something weird.
Well, he knew he was on edge and she could tell like a weird side of him was coming out.
Yeah. But something happened that night. He must have said something or he looks away. So she's like, let me go to bed because I don't want it to get worse. So she goes to bed thinking he's going to follow her. She falls asleep she wakes up to like noise. And when she goes downstairs to the basement, all her friends and family are crying in the basement. And she looks, and her aunt or her great aunt or her grandmother, somebody of the
Mm-hmm.
family was like holding it back and trying to calm him down. And he was like flipping out on everyone.
Yep.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts. And to act that way in front of your person's family is crazy.
Who does that remind you of? Someone that got in a
Right.
screaming blowing match at a restaurant with my sister, like a normal old man does.
Yeah, or your mom, or it's almost a couple times.
I dated Zach Bryan,
Yeah.
people. I'm a survivor.
Yeah, I remember like a family party that would happen. You're just like, okay.
You're like, I'm supposed to be the drama queen. Hello?
And it's funny because normal people like want to put their best foot forward with their person's family,
Hello?
and they don't care. They're
Hello?
yelling at them. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So, and she lost so much weight. She said she's like, she's always been
Okay,
skinny
now.
and she didn't have the weight to lose. It's like you losing 15 pounds. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
So she's stick thin, and she got on Instagram or her TikTok, I don't know. She got on her social and she said, "How do I gain the weight? Like, I'm trying to eat. Like, I feel like I'm like so thin. I'm gonna break. Like, I'm having a hard time because my nerves are shot and all this stuff. Do you have any tips?" Like, she is really skinny.
Yeah, losing weight is like a huge sign of a bad relationship.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it's tough, and she might not get over it for a while because sometimes
Well, it
I
wasn't even her idea to leave, so I think it'll take even longer for her to get over it. Like she
well,
wasn't ready. She didn't sit there and was like, it's like I need to leave. Like she was
right.
broken up with.
Correct. But the fact that he handled it the way he did kind of had to make her jump up and be like,
Hmm.
whoa, what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, she's clearly coming to her senses now, but
Because, like, someone like me, that I'm just like a nobody, I have to deal with it on my own and I could tell all the stories I want, but it's like, you don't get it.
yeah.
And then, like, she's telling it to the world. So she's having more support and more, like, realization sooner. So it'll help her, like, get past it faster. But we'll see. Bad news for the Menendez brothers. So with the election, everybody voted. You don't just vote for the election; you vote for mayors and sergeants and county
Mm-hmm.
this and that. So they voted in a new, I think, district attorney, whoever was in charge of recommending that they get out by Thanksgiving. That guy, they voted him out. So now they have a new person, and that new person is unlikely to do what the other guy was going to do, but he extended the due date and he has to look through all the information, but he doesn't look like it does people are saying he doesn't look like someone that's gonna like really back them. So,
I do think it's crazy that one person decides.
well, it's a domino person. The district attorney decides to recommend it, then it goes to ABC,
Yeah.
and then one person decides.
Right. But it is crazy how like they were so close and just timing wise now they could spend the rest of their life in jail. It's crazy.
Like divine intervention.
Could be.
Like, what are the chances that you
Yeah.
finally get someone to like have your back, and then boom, an election comes and ruins all your chances? That's crazy.
Yeah. So maybe they weren't supposed to come out.
I'd rather have not known. Like, what a letdown. Like, oh my God, you were
I
so
know.
close.
Psychological
Wow. A
torment.
guy. So there's a path on TikTok, or a part of TikTok. It's called TikTok over 40. Have you heard of it?
No.
So I want to be part of TikTok over 40 because I'm over 40. And there's like a
Oh, is it kind
whole,
of like mom talk?
it's
It's like its
kind of like
own
mom talk.
thing. Okay.
Yes. It's a whole
It's like a
movement.
community. Yeah.
But over 40, join TikTok over 40. And it's a whole side of people that know all the great music from the 90s and all the references. And they're kind and complimentary. And they drink tap water and all of this. And I'm
Wait,
like,
cute. Are you supposed to make dances with other 40-year-olds?
I don't know what the rules are. I keep seeing everyone like, go, if you're over 40, come join us. we love this side of TikTok, and we're all about happiness and like skating and the beats and Jamponi.
You need to capitalize on this moment. And
Yeah.
just like Mom Talk, how they found a little group and they make TikToks together, you need to find other over 40-year-olds and make little talks.
You want me to physically go out of Miami and try to find over 40 TikTok side?
You can find them on the internet, just see where they live, meet
Interesting.
up.
Interesting.
You could have your own reality show.
Oh, I don't want that. No, thank you. But I
Or
definitely want to be part of over 40 because they know the movies, they know the shows. It's all like
yeah.
good times.
I'm gonna post, like be a part of it.
I haven't started, but I will. It is a very special group. It's like, you know, it's like when an
Yeah.
old man dates a young girl and he's talking about a movie and the girl's like, "What are you talking about? Who is that? Oh my God."
Right.
You don't know. You don't know about this life. It's great.
I'm happy that you found your community.
And they're like, guys are like, "Oh my God, have you seen like everyone that's over 40? Like, we need to hear more from you. Like, we love the content. Like, we need more. Like, whoever's like, get your ass out here. Let's do this." It's like we're very popular right now.
Wow.
I like
Go
it.
you. Wow.
Um, Remember the guy that tried to cause insurance fraud and backed into a lady on the highway?
Okay, he got caught.
You know how he got caught? He went to, I'm probably like wrong, like Venezuela or another country. He flew out and he had a arrest warrant. So when he came back, they arrested him at the airport. And but they didn't catch the other two ladies yet.
Wow, he could have just stayed there. He shouldn't have come back.
Isn't that
Fugitive.
I'm so glad they caught him because like what a jerk.
Justice was served.
What a jerk. One last thing before we go, because we're out of time, because we just like have so much to talk about. Like, there's just so much to say. Wicked. Are you excited to see that? Have you ever, do you know about
I
that?
have never seen Wicked. People are
We,
obsessed with it, but I've never seen it.
okay, let's watch it when you come down for Thanksgiving.
Do
Will
you
it be
like
out?
it?
Huh?
Do you like Wicked?
I don't think I've ever seen it,
Oh,
which is odd. I
right.
don't
I
know
always
why.
hear people talk about it, and people who talk about it are obsessed with it.
I know. But
Yeah.
I don't know why I've never seen it. I might see it and be like, oh, I've seen this, but I don't remember seeing that ever. But it's been around forever. Is a movie out already?
I think it just came out. Yeah,
Is it
it
a
is
movie
out.
or a
Yeah.
play?
It's a movie musical.
No, I'm saying, is it on Broadway? Maybe it's not a movie.
No, it is a movie.
Oh, it is a movie. Well, they have Barbie dolls that are Wicked themed.
Oh, cute.
And so Mattel, the toy company, released these Barbies. And somehow, which I need an explanation because how can this happen? On the box of the Wicked Barbies, they mistakenly, I don't know how they mistakenly do this, when you look at the website to get more information, it takes you to a porn site. And Mattel came out and said, "We apologize. There was a mistake. Please throw away the boxes after you take the doll out." But it's like, all right, 8-year-olds are not looking at the website on the box. But like, why? Like, that's not the issue.
Okay, it could be a couple things. Someone's messing with the company, someone is a pedophile and wants children to see this, or someone, is it possible like they literally just messed up on one letter and it just happens to be like a porn site?
Is that possible? I want to know the explanation. Another big company
That's crazy.
with a porn situation for children.
Right. Yeah, is this like some weird Balenciaga
Like
moment?
I want a name. I want to know how that department works. I want to know who's in charge of doing that. Like I want answers because there's no way you mistakenly put a porn site.
Right, and was there any kid who did go on the site because their parents didn't, but they did?
I don't know. I don't know how they found out because somebody must have. Who does that? I would never look at a box and do that, but
Yeah,
somebody must have. How did they find out?
but
A
what
mom,
is
like,
it on the back? It's a QR code?
I don't know.
Like there's a website on there for like what?
Well, that would make sense if it's a QR code because then that's easy. I don't know.
Like,
But it's a porn site.
Another Balenciaga moment.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts.
So there you got it. I will not let this go. I want answers.
I'm sure
Did the
Montauk is
person
going
get
crazy.
did the person get fired?
Right, someone's responsible.
For Mattel to
And
have to
it's
come
not
out.
like some random website, like it's a porn
We're
website.
talking Mattel's like a huge company. They're like Nike. They're
Right.
like, how does something like that happen? Anyways,
Wow, that's crazy.
yes. Well, all right. Well, that's all we have for you. Enjoy your week and weekend.